And tonight on the Daily Wrap, Donald Trump standing by his comments about Senator John McCain and responds to Senator Lindsey Graham calling him a jackass. Ohio Governor John Kasich, not a jackass, officially running for president, bringing the GOP total to a Sweet 16. Another disturbing Planned Parenthood video is released online, and as the president defends his decision to bypass Congress on the Iran deal, Iran's supreme leader promises they will never stop acquiring nukes. This is the Daily Wrap, live from New York City. And welcome to Daily Wrap. I'm Joe Concha along with my co-host Rick Unger.
Greetings.
How you feeling?
Feeling good today. Feeling good today. Interesting day. Big goings-ons at the Ohio State University.
Yes, probably earns your vote now because he is a fellow Buckeye.
He is a fellow Buckeye. I wouldn't get carried away, but you know, we're proud of him. Him and Jack Nicklaus. You know.
That's right. Yeah. Nicholas is also part of the Buckeye State, of course. And to Mr. Unger's right, don't think she went to Ohio State. Nope. She is America's pundit, however, and Philly attorney. She is Heather Hansen. And finally, Brad Hirschfield. He is the editor of thewisdomdaily.com. Welcome back, Brad, once again.
Good to be here.
What is your alma mater, by the way?
University of Chicago.
Oh, right, very good. Ooh, good city. Okay, let's get right to the Daily Download. And Donald Trump still coming under fire for his comments about Senator John McCain.
He hit me. He's not a war hero.
He's a war hero.
He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
Do you agree with that?
He's a war hero because he was captured, okay? You can have, and I believe perhaps he's a war hero, but right now he said some very bad things about a lot of people.
Stole that from Chris Rock. Just want to say, take a look at the Des Moines Register's headline today. Trump should pull the plug on his bloviating sideshow, noting, quote, in the 5 weeks since he announced his campaign to seek the GOP nomination for president, Trump has been more focused on promoting himself and his brand than in addressing the problems facing the nation. Mr. Trump joined the O'Reilly Factor on Fox last night to clarify his comments.
When asked about McCain, you got into his war record. And I think you would admit here tonight that was a mistake because John McCain was a hero, and you know that.
But I haven't said anything different. In fact, Cheryl Atkinson analyzed what I said. She took it all the way, and she included a few minutes later at a news conference, which everybody goes to immediately, and she looked at it and she said, Trump did absolutely nothing wrong. He said the right things.
And Mr. O'Reilly continued to press the issue.
You can backtrack into that. But the fact of the matter is, we just played the clip where you said he was captured, and I like people who weren't captured. Now, you know that that wasn't correct.
Okay, so Trump responded.
Bill, no matter how you say it, what I said, including my remarks right afterwards, right off the stage, if you look at it, and Cheryl Atkinson is highly respected, she said it was very unfair the way the media played.
All right, maybe really that was unfair, but you yourself, and I know you for a long time, and I want you to be honest, you do think John McCain is a hero. I know you do.
I do.
Okay. So, did O'Reilly throw his friend Trump a little lifeline there?
What do you think? You think he gave? Of course he did, but you know that's all right. Fine, but I get a kick out of the fact that Cheryl Atkinson is now the decider at all things having to do with Trump, apparently, because she came to some conclusion. Look, we are in for a really interesting week on Donald Trump. The poll that came out recently that shows him a 24% lead, which is 10 points higher than I ever thought.
Doubles Jeb Bush.
It does. And I'm told, though, that most of the poll was taken before he made that comment, and that the day after it came down into single digits. So it'll be an interesting week. This might be the week things change. We all know it's coming. It's just a question of when. But we'll see.
Is this the turning point, Heather Hansen, in the Trump rise? That suddenly people see him as more of a show or an entertainer than a serious candidate?
I don't think so. I think the people that see him as a serious candidate have excused that. And I think it's not fair to say he's not talking about the issues that are facing the nation. I think when he talks about immigration, many of us believe that's an issue that's facing the nation. When he talks about the VA hospital, many of us think that's an issue that's facing the nation. So I think that to just discount him based on this one statement is probably not the most practical thing.
Be good if he talked about them
Before.
and truthfully and with
policy-wise.
substance and policy.
Well,
right.
that's the thing, Brad, right?
Anger is not a policy.
I think that he has stolen a page from, of all people, Joe Biden's playbook. And that is just very general, easy to absorb, overarching themes, VA not run well, immigration, big mess, need to create more jobs. Doesn't have to get into details because the American public doesn't really have the attention.
That's not Joe Biden at all.
That's Joe Biden's 2012 election was Osama bin Laden's dead and GM is alive. And that's all he had to say, and that was replayed over and over again. And people are like, you know what, you're right.
He said a lot more than that. He
Yeah,
did.
but he's good at just getting off a very simple message. I'm saying it's effective.
Right.
Don't get me
understand.
wrong.
No,
It can be effective, but there's an off-the-cuff quality. And the idea of an off-the-cuff presidency, whether you agree with them or not, that's what I have a problem with. Because we can fight out any of these issues, and I think you're right. There are a lot of things that his people are going to still support him on. I think, Rick, the language used is perfect. It is about anger. I think the real debate here is not about Trump. It's about the soul of the Republican Party. Is it going to be a party of anger or a party of liberty? And that's a real toss-up right now.
Okay, well, the established GOP is still gunning for Trump. Senator Lindsey Graham had to say this about the Donald.
What he said about John, I think, was offensive. He's becoming a jackass at a time when we need to have a serious debate about the future of the party and the country.
I love the graphic, a jackass. Right? To make sure you see that.
I'm getting ready to give out your phone number. I want you to know that.
Really?
Just like
The Donald
today.
did.
I will give it out right now.
Ooh.
Okay, come on, camera on me. 867-5309, ask for Jenny. Okay. Of course, Mr. Trump had to respond to Graham.
Lindsey Graham says to me, please, please, whatever you can do. You know what I'm saying to myself, what's this guy, a beggar? He's like begging me to help him with Fox and Friends. So I say, okay, and I'll mention your name. He said, could you mention my name? I said, yes, I'll mention. And he gave me his number, and I found the card. I wrote the number down. I don't know if it's the right number. Let's try it. 202-228. I don't know. Maybe it's, it's 3-4 years ago, so maybe it's an old number. 202-228. So, I don't know. Give it a shot.
I wonder if it worked. I mean, you could clearly see it even if we beep it out.
It did work.
It did.
People claimed when they got in touch with Graham, he said he wondered why his phone was buzzing all day.
Right.
And it was explained to him why it had happened.
I'd kill to see those text messages, Heather.
Yeah, it's the thing is, I mean, even the people in the audience didn't seem all that thrilled with that. I think that some of this stuff is just not going over well. It is
It's
tacky.
just tacky, lowbrow stuff.
We have a word for
entertaining.
people who do things like that. I'm not going to use it.
Jackass?
But no.
Oh.
Shorter. You know what? I mean, Donald Trump behaves like a high school guy. You know, like, oh, this is hilarious. And, the funny thing is we all laughed at it because it was funny.
Right.
But you know what? It wasn't funny to Lindsey Graham, who now he's going to have to go get a new phone number.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessary. It certainly wasn't presidential. Right. And if anybody doesn't agree with that out there, is this really the behavior you want in a president?
But the problem is that
High
we
school
keep
praise?
saying that he's making all these gaffes, and he keeps going up.
Yeah, isn't
Well,
that
So
but that's-
scary?
we're all wrong
Because
so
there's
far.
a market for
that
that,
scary?
and that's why I'm telling you, it really is. Is anger going to win out here? Because he has tapped that vein, and that is real. And someone's going to need to figure out how to address that in the American public without pandering the way he is.
But the gaffes have also been since the last poll, as Rick
Yeah,
pointed out.
I think
I
it's
think
gonna
that we
turn.
will see a drop. I think that in response, not just to the McCain thing, but to giving out that number, I think there are a lot of people who realize that you can't be doing that when you're talking about the head of China.
And it's not over
That's
yet.
right.
It's not over. It's not like Trump's dead. He can
Right.
keep going as long as he wants. And even though it goes down, it may come back up again at some point.
Okay.
But I think we'll see a difference.
We shall see. Governor Rick Perry tweeted yesterday, defending conservatism against the cancer of Trumpism. Will we see a united GOP going after Donald? We wonder. More Daily Wrap coming up in just a moment. But first, we want to tell you about newsmaxtv.com/comments. Newsmaxtv/comments. That's right. What you have to do there is send in your comments on the show. We might read some on the air. Meanwhile, big media and critics say Donald Trump doesn't have a plan for anything when he becomes president. Well, he does, in fact. He wrote a whole book. It's called Time to Get Tough. That's the bestseller that outlines Donald Trump's plan for our southern border, China, terrorism, and much, much more. If you want to learn more about Trump's plan, check it out or go to newsmax.com/Trump book to get your free offer. Okay, more Daily Wrap right after the break.